a long time since I've done any membership content. I'm so behind and I'm so sorry on that, but we are here. We have today's episode, tomorrow's live. We're going to announce the winner of June's contest, and then we have the style video before we up and move up out of this apartment. So today I wanted to talk about, for the content focus, what's up, cookies? What's going on? So anyway, I want to talk about planning out content while working with other creatives for a smooth process and finishing, and some of like my biggest pet peeves when it comes to working with videographers and photographers. Not working with them necessarily. I'm talking about how people on the internet sometimes take advantage of them or don't credit them and things of that nature. And I just kind of want to reiterate how important it is to treat other creatives in your process, because it's all an art form and a space to dwell with each other that is to be respected. So, we talked about telling your story and creating, your niche being you, but you carving out exactly what you want to show to the rest of the world. What the content that you're focusing is all about. And I think that sometimes we get into these spaces where we get a little stuck with creativity. I know I have them a lot throughout the year. And sometimes it's just due to burnout. Sometimes it's due to imposter syndrome. Sometimes it's due to people around you doubting you or making you feel uncomfortable about what you really want to pursue. And there are things that I practice to work around that. And one of those things is brain dumping. I will sit there and I will make a list of ideas that just come to mind that connect to the core of what I do. So let's say the core of what I talk about or share the most is fashion, right? So I'll sit there and I'll think of, I want to do a video in Times Square with a cool outfit, or I want to talk about foundations. I want to talk about my favorite types of shoes to wear for these types of events. Like just different ideas that come to mind when you think about the topic that you connect with the most and what stems from it, right? What are the subcategories of that category? And then I also review, we stay saving things. We stay saving a picture or a video for inspiration, whether it be on Pinterest or Instagram or even TikTok. And I implore you, please go into your saved folders and review what you saved and take time to actually see why you connected with something in a way that you felt inspired to save it so you can potentially revisit it later. I think a lot of times we save a bunch of things and we just forget it. But there's a reason why you saved it. There's a reason why you felt connected to it, So it's like, don't be afraid to tap back into it and see what exactly is the essence of what made you save it. And if it's something that can inspire your content, or you could do a spin-off of it, put your own swag on it. No copy and pasting, please. But it's just good to revisit your notes. Connect to your why constantly. I think it's a good idea to sometimes step back from your feeling stuck mentally, creatively, and go to the movies. Watch music videos, current ones from the past that you really loved. Listen to music, read the lyrics, and if there are things that stick out to you, grab onto it, pull it out. There's certain lyrics in certain songs that make you feel really confident. So maybe you want to tie that song into a reel that you're making if you're not speaking on it. Maybe there's a particular director of movies that really inspires you, like Steven Spielberg, and the way that he redid The Color Purple. If there's something about an angle, the lighting, or the essence of a shot, save that and write about it, put it down in your notes and figure out how you can emulate it yourself. There's a lot of inspiration that I take from movies. My number one favorite director would be Spike Lee. And just pulling different methods and ideas and ideologies from him. So figure out what other artists inspire you. Go to the museum, go to different exhibits, go to plays or an off Broadway show or some type of theater showcase. Do something that takes you outside of yourself to make you wonder, how did that person tap into a source to create something so beautiful that touched you? You got to dig a little bit deeper. So when we're stuck in our minds and feeling all these things and having all these thoughts, it's important to step out of yourself, because it's really yourself limiting your creativity when you're thinking too much or overthinking, overwhelmed, or allowing outside sources to distract you. After all of that, you make the notations, you're connecting the dots, and sometimes the things that you connect with don't have to make sense with another. You know what I mean? The same reason why I might be inspired off of someone's reel versus why I'm inspired off of the movie Girl 6 by Spike Lee has nothing to do with each other, but I might want to blend them. I might want to do a version of both separately and have a different aesthetic separately and not think twice about it. I'm just trying shit, but you are able to understand your own creative flow by taking in other creatives' work, and you can develop different concepts out of that. And also, like, what are you known for? I talked about this before. What are you known for? Make a series off of it, spin off of it. One of the tactics that I am working on right now with my manager, we're just focusing on growth strategies right now, which is why I'm doing the series, the 30-day challenge. What I show the people what I'm wearing at 30 days straight, and connecting with the audience. And I think I've grown a couple of thousand in the last few weeks. Like I think I was like 43,000 and now I'm at 50K today. So, creating a series also from what you're known for or what you connect to the most can not only, make you have a reason to show up online. It creates consistency. It creates audience trust to know that you're going to be there when they expect you. It creates a growth pattern. And depending on, the level of consistency and the spark behind the work that you're creating, like you're connecting to people, you have good hooks in the beginning to reel them in, you have something that you're really passionate about. And sometimes, even if something that you're into is not a trending topic, if you have a lot of passion around it, it becomes your trending topic and people get into it. So you have to believe in that. But I think creating a series or a format where you are going to be posting online and showing up every day online, it creates a big community very quickly and authentically. And it is a test to your determination that shows you don't need motivation to show up. You just know, I got to do this. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make something out of it. And whatever I come up with, I'm going to just post it because I said I was going to do it. And I know sometimes I'm not always going to love it. I'm not always going to be feeling it. But I said what I said I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show up for it. And that trumps motivation. And sometimes that habit flow also trumps creativity. Because what we may not like from what we do or what we create, it's like, oh my God, it's not what I want. It doesn't have the oomph that I want. You post it, watch it be the most viral thing that you post. I'm just telling you, sometimes the most simplest things are like the most viral moments, or the moments that connect so authentically. Y'all not used to seeing me drink water. I'm very thirsty today. I've been drinking a lot of ice water lately. But anyway, I know it's not good. You should be drinking room temperature, whatever. I really just want ice water. Anywho's, creating a series is very helpful. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is when you're creating with other people, it's like a college project. Someone can come up with the concept, someone can come up with the details on how to get there, and someone will come up with the presentation and how that's going to roll, right? And I think it's really fun working with other creators. And I think that you always just want to make sure that the work feels even, or the intention is understood. What you want to gain with the work with each other. If it's just fun, okay, fine. But if you want to target certain brands or target certain groups, then be on the same page with each other when it comes to that. And also just lay it all out there. If you are the type of person where something's not your strong suit, but your other creative counterpart does have a strength in that, say like, listen, I'm not good at picking out the shoes for this type of look, or I'm not good at finding locations. Like, how do you feel about it? Be honest about what your strong suits are and what your weaknesses are, so you can meet each other halfway. And I think just open communication is very important with working with another creator. Understanding the intent behind the content that you're creating together, figuring out what your strengths and weaknesses are so you can split the work evenly. And sometimes it's not going to be even. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes someone's going to be way more organized than you, and other times you're going to have the bigger platform. At the end of the day, it will come together as long as the intention is there, as long as kindness is the foundation of the project, working with each other, and that you're being honest and splitting costs. You know what I'm saying? So those are really important details. One thing that I have noticed, and I wanted to talk about this in today's video, working with videographers and photographers, I think very highly of the relationships that I have with those people within the creative process. Being the daughter of a photographer, I've seen so many different things that are super positive about their world and their part in the creative process. And I've seen a lot of ugly things that it makes me want to go and like pull up on people that have done my father wrong, type of thing. Like, I want to go and pull up on. Anyway, but I think that one thing I've noticed a lot on the internet is that a lot of creators do not tag the photographer or videographer that they work with. And unless the videographer or photographer says, don't tag me, which can mean many things. It could just be that they're not really sure of their work and they're not ready to show it. They don't think that the work that they did with you is good example of the type of portfolio that they want to have. That could be something. But unless it's discussed that they don't want you to tag them, I think it's important to tag them, because it opens the opportunity for them to work with other people. I don't understand why a lot of people gatekeep their videographers and photographers, stylists, hairstylists, all that stuff. Any other creative that I've worked with, you're going to know who I'm working with. And I think that it's strange that people hold that back to keep a certain photography or videography aesthetic to themselves, which sometimes is not the case. I remember working with my good friend Troy Madison, a photographer who's based now in DC. And I remember, yes, he has a certain aesthetic when it comes to shooting his subjects, but he's always able to tweak things depending on what that client wants. And I remember one time he shot me and I said, I want you to kind of have an overexposed light with this particular project. Like, I have this idea. I kind of want to look like paparazzi-esque, And he got it. He knew right away what I wanted, and he gave it to me. And as soon as he saw it, even on his camera screen, he was like, oh, this is yours. Like, that's yours. And I think that we have to have better faith in our ability to build relationships with other creators, to know this is something that I want to have that's very special between us. If you don't mind, like, could you create a different aesthetic for me? Like, can we try something new and that be your aesthetic with that person? So when they approach that person from, from different angles, somebody else wants to work with them, they can say, oh, this is for that particular client, but we can build something else with you in mind. I remember when I first started working with Shamel, and a lot of people started reaching out to him after every video about working with him. And he would be excited and he would work with them, and he would just be like, a lot of people are asking to do the same type of thing that we do. And I'm like, well, that's fine. Like, yeah, people want to do the fashion stuff, but the difference is, location. The difference is maybe my lighting, maybe my style. Everyone can still ask him to have the same approach, but the angle, the lighting, the look is always going to be different because every human being has a different aesthetic. So I didn't feel uncomfortable with them saying, I want what you do with Carolyn. It's like, no, it's just a benchmark for them. Y'all can figure something else out where you build this particular ID for them, So I find that it's strange when content creators, influencers will have beautiful work, and it's like, you're not holding anything to take those images yourself. Like, that camera ain't moving by itself behind you, like walking away. Someone else is there with you, creating this concept with you, helping you bring this idea to life. Why not tag them? Because you're afraid they're going to get booked and busy. Listen, Shamel get flown out all the time for work, and at this point I always say, hey, what's your schedule like for this month? Like, what you got going on when you in town? Because I need to meet him halfway. We're both getting booked for different things, and it's going to work out. But I just don't understand this unnecessary fear of, if I tag my videographer or photographer, then they're not going to want to work with me anymore. They're going to get a bigger client. That is the hope. You want to be able to say, I work with someone who shot their first cover in Vogue. For example, Maisha Gardner. I worked with her twice. Beautiful experience. Love the images and how she captured my soul. She just posted her first Vogue Portugal cover. I can say I've been photographed by a Vogue photographer. Like, why wouldn't you want to say that you've had this experience? Like, that's your friend. You want them to do good. You want them to have more opportunities. You want them to make more money so they can have the ability to invest in their equipment and buy better cameras or do the things and come up with different ideas. Like, when you gatekeep another creator, you are keeping them back from connecting with a world of possibilities that can always come back to you when you work together. I just don't understand the lack of tagging someone. It takes a second. It's kind of mean too, unless they ask for it to not be tagged. Then I get it, right? But yeah, I want my videographers and photographers to go around the world and come back and tell me, and share with me. And I want to do stuff with them after those experiences, because their eye becomes more, it becomes more foreign. So, I'm big on tagging them. I'm big on creating shoot lists also, creating a mood board. So if you're wanting to work with someone and you want to do this business in any capacity, you want to be on digital platforms showing something about yourself in a creative manner, right? I think to make things easier for yourself and for the person that is trying to capture this idea that you have in your mind. No one can read your mind. No one can see what you see. So it's important to write down, note all these different things of inspiration, create mood boards, create shot lists, and give it to the person days prior to meeting up and doing any of these things, because it helps them understand what to do. Even take the time to find locations that you think would be cool. Send a picture of that place to the person that you're going to be working with and say, what do you think about this area? Do you think the lighting would be all right? There's a way to go on Google Maps and see at what time of day where the lighting hits on certain outdoor locations. Go on to Peerspace or whatever local to you, the websites that have different studio places that you can rent out for shoots and stuff. Just browse through it, see what's on there, sign up for the newsletter, see what other new spaces come about within that directory. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people think it's just about showing up and being cute. Sure. But you got to have a plan mentally, number one. You got to write it down, and you have to share that plan with someone that you are expecting to help you cultivate this image that you have in your mind and in your heart. You know, I've heard stories about people saying to a photographer, that's not how I thought it would come out. Well, what did you want? They never shared a mood board. They never shared the idea. They just verbally said, I want to shoot at Times Square and I have this outfit that I really want to shoot in and I only have until like 6:00 to do it. You're not thinking about time of day and lighting, crowds. You're not thinking about the type of equipment that person's going to need to shoot you. You're not thinking about the angles or the actual photograph that you see coming out of it. You need to develop examples or figure out a way to best express what you want. And also leaving room for the other creator to show you another angle or possibility. Because a lot of times I'll tell videographers, Shamel or Tone, Wolf, I have this idea. I want to shoot here. This is some of the concepts of, some images of the concept that I'm trying to capture. Like I want a blend of this essence. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, yeah, I'm into it. And then we'll get to the place. And I remember there was a video I recently had created and I knew the area that I wanted to shoot in. And I sent him videos and footage of it beforehand, right? But when we got to that neighborhood, to that block, I said, now, you go ahead, venture about. I'm going to stand here because I'm wearing heels. Just call me when you find the spot and angle where you want to shoot me from. If you want to shoot from above, across the street, over there, from that angle, is the light better? Give him a couple of minutes to get his visual together, his idea, and say, you know what, Lynn? Go across the street and I'm gonna have you walk back and forth and I'm just gonna give you hand signals on when to start and just keep walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's like I give him creative range, number one, and then I'm also very patient. Sometimes people also think that models show up to a photo shoot and to a studio space and get the look and then that's it. No, that's not how it works. You have to be sometimes in the position where you're not going to be completely comfortable just to get the angle and the look that you're trying to, the shot. You want to get the shot. Sometimes it's 70 shots before you get the shot. And a lot of people will show up to a shoot or a video shoot with an attitude, already tired, already hungry, thirsty, all the things, just a not happy attitude at all. You let other things distract you prior to getting there. And then you're mad because your video comes out. You got frown lines across yourself. You're not holding your stomach in, so you're feeling flabby. And then you don't like the darkness of the angle because you didn't go there beforehand to see if it was going to work out or ask the question, have you shot in this neighborhood before? What do you think is going to happen? What kind of lighting do we need? It is not just showing up and being cute. And also having the tools that you need, having a lint roller, a deodorant cleaner, pens, powder to mattify any spots you don't want shiny. Like if you are doing this guerrilla style with you and just the photographer, you need to be prepared. Days prior to the shoot, weeks prior to the shoot, the day of the shoot, And you have to also be bendable. Like, it might rain, so your shot might have rain in it. Your shot might be you in the rain. Your shot might just get canceled because you can't even go outside and shoot because they don't have the equipment to withstand those types of climates with their camera. You have to understand there's so many different elements that go into working with a photographer or a videographer. And that's why sometimes when I see that people don't tag their photographers or videographers, it bothers me because I'm just like, it's not just you that came up with this image. It's not just you that got paid for this. It's not just your likeness. Someone's eye is also helping you cultivate this moment. So I think, to be honest, I respect people more when they understand and honor the start to finish creative process. And because people have that mindset, they're always going to be creating. They're always going to have amazing time with different people. They're always going to meet different people that want to shoot them or different opportunities. When you show that you are willing to work with a team and do what you need to do to get the concept done, that shows a brand that you are amazing to work with. So showing credit when it's due comes back to you. It's a karmic thing. So, it's been on my heart to talk about. And to be honest, I want to make parts of this video public, not just for this membership space, because I do think that the people that I've worked with, seeing my father create with other people, it's so important to highlight how necessary it is to honor them and to not make them this invisible person that just helped you with a picture or a video. They're an artist too. You're the subject, you're the muse, you're a partner, you're their friend, you're their confidant. So, and it's a two-way street also. You want them to credit you being the subject of a video that they really enjoy. You want people to know that you were easy to work with, because they might ask, like, I don't know what Shamel Tone or Maisha or Troy have said, Rome or Padone. I don't know what anyone has said about what it's like to work with me, but what I will say is that I bust my ass. I'll try. I will climb things even though they'll tell me not to. I'll do what I can, and I will be uncomfortable in the heat of it too, like sweating bullets, or my feet hurt, or I feel exposed or something, but I want them to get a cool shot too. I want my shot and I want them to really like it. And sometimes too, when we're shooting, I don't really look at it on site. If we're doing the shoot, I don't really look at anything. I'll just say to them, do you like what you just did? Do you like that image that you just took of me? Because really, this is your canvas, and you have the brush and the paint. Do you like what you created? Because sometimes when we see ourselves in certain lights, we critique it. Oh my God, I look crazy, I look ugly, my hair, no. Like, we overjudge the things in the heat of the moment, and I'm not about that. The only time I do recommend looking at anything is if it's the very first time you're working with that person. That, that way you're like, okay, let me see, like, you tell me what angle to be in, because I don't like that angle, so to speak. So let's work together and figure this out, because I want to try something else. That's the only time that I probably will ever look at someone's work. My first time dating them. It's a date. Afterwards, you got the shot? Can I change? Are you thirsty? Can we get something to eat? Like that is the process. This is my coworker. So I want to do everything to make sure that they have what they need from me, and that I'm giving them all that I can, and they give me the same energy, because it's cyclical. It is what it is. I work with people who respect me too, and I respect them. So, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just, I don't want people to think that this stuff is easy, that you don't have to show the process, or, you know, I don't like when people hide the reality of what happened before a shot or video came to be. You know, I don't like when people hide other creators in the process of the image. I don't like it when people don't plan effectively and then it's wasting everyone's time involved. And then you get your own self upset, you get other people upset, then you have to redo the work, you know? So, and I'm saying all this because I lived certain things and I've learned it. I don't think I've ever disrespected or made someone feel less than when it came to working with a photographer. But I know that when I didn't plan properly or when I had a bad attitude about something, I ended up having to reshoot, spend more money. So I hope all this makes sense, and that, you know, when you're going to create content by yourself or with other people, that you feel clear about the vision that you have for yourself, or at least open to being helped with the final product that you want, and that you understand what your inspirations are, you understand your why, you understand a way to fight through the limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves sometimes, or imposter syndrome, or just sometimes laziness, that you create determination more than you create the motivation that you think you need. You don't need to be motivated to do anything. You don't. You need determination just to do what you need to do. That's more powerful than motivation. And what's even more powerful behind just having determination and giving action is having a plan and having respect for others and giving credit when it's due. So I hope this video resonates. It's something I'm very passionate about when it comes to working with other people and other creatives. You guys heard me talk about different things like this before, but I really wanted to drive it in again because I've been seeing some of this take place. And, you know, it's not a nice feeling to see some friends of mine being taken advantage of, or just not being respected for their time, or things of that nature. No one I'm super close with that does that to them. But you know what I'm saying? Like other people that they work with, I'm like, who that? Why they didn't tag you? Oh, that's not cool. My people respect my people. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about anyone in particular that I know. I'm just like, I see the things and I don't bang with that. You know what I'm saying? All right, cookies. I'll see y'all in the comments and in the live tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Put it below. I'll see y'all later. Bye.